What's happening, guys? This is Mike's Total Dragon Channel, and I have got the solicitations for DC and Marvel. These are solicitations for books that are coming out in February. I was very late in getting these. My shop didn't have them till just this week, so I'm going to go ahead and dive right into them. We've got the DC book right here on top, and right from the start, you see they've got the Vertigo imprint is coming back. So they've got some of those titles here advertised right here on the cover. Looks like a book by Tinian, Dennis Camp, Kyle Starks, Chris Condon. So we'll see what they have for those. I know that DC had this big announcement they were bringing Vertigo back. I find it kind of perplexing that it was such a big deal. I was kind of confused as to why it was such a big deal. Back in the day, definitely there was a need for an imprint like Vertigo. Now, in 2025, not so much. You have imprints like I can't think of the name. Black Label. You've got the Black Label imprint. The industry is so much more different now. The range of titles is so much more different now. The readership is so much more different now than it was back then. That I really don't feel like there's, much of a need for it other than just, honestly, I think the only reason for it is they pull the Vertigo type in the trademark out of the woodworks so they wouldn't lose it. That's what I think the main reason is for it, because today's, if you're somebody who is relatively new to comics, and I say relatively new, over the past, 10 to 15 years, you've gotten engaged and involved in comic books, the Vertigo doesn't really, that word and that idea of it as a label doesn't really mean anything to you. It doesn't really hold any meaning as it does for us older fans. Today's fans and more recent fans, they're used to these, kind of quirky titles or titles that aren't necessarily, for the mainstream, because they have exposure to books, that come out of Image or IDW, or, they've grown up in a world with the Invincibles and the Boys and everything else. So, but that's just my, 5 cents on what I think about the Vertigo label coming back. I do find it weird, but hey, maybe it'll grab some people's attention. So we've got Nice House on the Sea. I'll be passing on this. I read Nice House on the Lake by Tinian when that originally came out a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and it didn't really grab me, so I'm not going to do any follow-up to this Nice House on the Sea. Bleeding Hearts. This is a Dennis Camp book. This is like a zombie book, kind of something along the lines of what if zombies developed a conscience or something like that. And, it sounds like really interesting or what have you. But I don't know. I think I'm going to pass on it. I did see that movie from a couple years ago that had the guy who played Lex Luthor, where he played a zombie who started to get like feelings and started to be able to think and everything. And it kind of seems like it's a little similar to this. But in any case, I'll be passing on that. I'll be passing on this Kyle Starks book. I do like Chris Condon as a writer. This could be a really cool noir story. So possibly I'll check it out, but I highly doubt it. So these are some of the other titles that they're marching out for the new Vertigo lineup. So now we're back into the mainline DC Universe, DCKO. I'll be picking that up. Night Fight, I'll be picking that up. Boss Battle, this is the one that is having the DC characters fight like Sub-Zero, Homelander, Red Sonja, Vampirella, or whatever. So this would probably be a really weird one-shot to pick up. So I'll probably pick that up just for the hell of it. That'll be super weird. Then we've got some more tie-ins right here. DCKO, Superman, Justice League Unlimited. I'll be passing on these. All In, Titans, Flash. I'll be passing on it. I was very disappointed in how that first Mark Waid, Christopher Cantwell Flash book went. I picked it up because I like both of those writers, and obviously Mark's history with the Flash is really strong, but it wasn't the thing to me. So we've got another Gotham Sirens book right here. This one is by Teenie Howard. The last one was by Leah Williams. This one's called Love Hurts. I'll be passing on it. Although the lineup of Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and Black Canary is a really powerful lineup, which I'm sure is going to bring in a whole lot of fans of those characters. Absolute Batman, I'll be passing on. Absolute Wonder Woman, I'll be picking that up. Looks like Kelly Thompson is writing the annual, so I'll be picking it up as well. Absolute Superman, yes. Martian Manhunter, Flash, Green Lantern, I'll be passing on those. Batman, this is the Matt Fraction book, I'll be picking this up. Nightwing, I'll be passing on it. Although, however, after reading the Dan Waters, Hayden Sherman Batman miniseries that just wrapped up recently, I'm very interested. I'm tempted to go back and pick up all these Nightwings that Dan Waters wrote, because I really enjoyed that Batman mini that just finished, and it's he wrote that and he's writing this, so it's very worth checking out to see if his Nightwing is similar to that Batman feel. Batman and Robin, I'll be pass. Batgirl, pass. World's Finest, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, pass on all of this. Detective Comics, pass. Action, I'll be picking that up. The same with Superman Unlimited. I always talk about how I like the Action Comics of Superman Unlimited, how they're basically one and done stories, very accessible. I know Dan Slott, his Superman run has been exactly what I thought it was going to be. Nothing groundbreaking, just real solid stories, telling month after month. Supergirl, I'll be picking that up. Book of Ale by Philip Kennedy Johnson, I'll be picking that up. I'm wondering how they're going to finish this, since he just signed that contract for Marvel exclusive. I'm sure they're letting him finish up his work here. Wonder Woman by Tom King, obviously I'll be picking that up. JSA, I'll be picking this year one up. I just read the first part of it. I enjoyed it. History of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident. This would be interesting to read. Wondering how they have the Dakota heroes factored into the DC continuity. So I'll give this a shot right here to see how they attempt to merge all that. Green Lantern Corps, pass. Batman Green Arrow question, pass. Gargoyle of Gotham, pass on this. Batman and Static Beyond, pass. Batman the Second Night, pass. Now we're here into the facsimile stuff. This Superman 433 facsimile, this would be really cool to pick up if you've never gotten it before. Basically, this is part one of whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow, which is kind of recognized as the last Silver Age Superman story. They tied this in with a Action Comics. I believe the Action Comics was the other book they tied it into. So they had a 2-part story, which wrapped up all of the Silver Age Superman and launched the John Byrne post Crisis on Infinite Earth Superman era. It's a 2-part story about Alan Moore. Really strong stuff here. Very powerful, even though it has that Silver Age flavor. Really good stuff. Mad Love, Dark Knight Returns #1. Pass on both of those. Pass on all these facsimiles here. Wonder Woman Historia, Absolute Edition. I am actually tempted to get this. I really liked this miniseries by Kelly Sue DeConnick, and the artwork, the teams on there, Phil Jimenez, who else was on there? Nicholas Scott, Gene Ha. Really strong artwork here and a really great story by Kelly Sue DeConnick. So I'm tempted to pick this up here in Absolute format, which really gives this type of artwork a chance to shine. The Absolute format, I feel, works best for books that have really, really strong artwork. The oversized pages and the size of the book really allows the art to pop. Supergirl here, I'll be passing on this. Galaxy, pass. Superman Kryptonite Spectrum, I'm currently reading this. This is a kind of fun miniseries, but this is the collection. And this is the Dan Waters Batman book I was talking about, Dark Patterns. Very crime heavy, very street level. Highly recommend this right here. Now we're into other trades. Supergirl, pass on that. Birds of Prey, pass. I just finished this Gotham by Gaslight, League for Justice. Highly recommend both of these right here. Andy Diggle has, they'll probably combine this into one book at some point, I would imagine. But Andy Diggle basically does a sequel to Gotham by Gaslight, one of the very first Batman Elseworld stories. And he takes it and expands on it and introduces more DC characters into that universe, into that flavor of Gotham by Gaslight, fitting into that time period. So, nothing else here. Godzilla Kong, nope. Yet another version of another collection of Dark Knight Returns. Omnibus of Jack Kirby's work from his Bronze Age work. Pass on all this. DC's Finest. Be passing on these. Sword of Azrael. I saw today a guy picked up a copy of Sword of Azrael #1 for $1. I remember when that was a really, really hot book. Now you can find it in dollar boxes nationwide. Passing on all this stuff right here. That Legion, that would be worth getting if you're a big Legion fan 5 years later. So that is everything from DC. Now we have Daredevil, and right here on the cover they're advertising Stephanie Phillips coming on, taking on Daredevil #1. Oh wow, look at that. Feel the malice of the Invincible Woman. Ryan North, Humberto Ramos, Fantastic Four. Okay, you got my attention right there. Daredevil #1. Oh, look at that. Daredevil's going to be blind bag. Big surprise right there. But Daredevil #1 by Stephanie Phillips. I'll be picking that up. She's someone whose work I kind of started to notice recently, so I'll be giving it a shot. The last Daredevil run by Saladin Ahmed didn't really grab me, so I'll give this one a shot. Captain America by Chip Zdarsky. That's a pickup. Amazing Spider-Man and Venom, Death Spiral. Be passing on that. Wolverine, Weapons of Armageddon by Chip Zdarsky. Probably passing on this as well. I'm not a terrible big Wolverine fan. Punisher #1 by Benjamin Percy. Absolutely. Yes, please. This is an ongoing. So currently we have 3 Punisher books, and we are going to be having the ongoing. So this is slated to come out in February So there's a chance that you'll have 4 Punisher books on the shelf at one time. That's insane, considering prior to a couple months ago, everyone thought the character was done. We didn't think we were going to see this version of Frank on the stands anymore. But here he is, and he's back with 4 books. He's never had 4 books out at one time, which is even crazier. Godzilla, I'll be passing on this. I liked it initially, the Godzilla Marvel Universe stuff, but they quickly beat it into the ground, so I don't need any more. Jeff, pass. Moon Knight, Mark Spector, Moon Knight #1 by Jed McKay. Yes, I'll be picking that up. Black Panther, pass. Iron Man, I'll be picking that up. I'm going to give that a try. Ultimates, yes. Ultimate X-Men, I've never picked up an issue. I picked up the first issue, and I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. And so I just said, this is not the thing for me. But these are all slated to end at 24. Ultimates is on 21. Ultimate X-Men is on 24, so this is wrapping up. Ultimate Wolverine, pass. Ultimate Endgame. So this will be probably like a mini-series that leads up to everything that happened. Cyclops, this is a 5-issue mini-series here. I might give it a shot. I'm a big Cyclops fan. Last thing I read by Alex Pacnadel, I believe that's how it's pronounced, was the Sentinels miniseries, and it didn't really grab me terribly much. But I do like Cyclops more than the Sentinels mini, so we'll give it a shot. Magic and Colossus, yes, I'll be reading this. Generation X-23, I might try issue 1. I do like Erica, I almost said Erica Kelly, but Laura Kinney, I'm sorry. I do like Laura Kinney, and what's her little sister, her clone sister's name right there? Is her superhero name Honey Badger? Something like that. They're both pretty cool characters, so I might give this a shot. Storm, yes, I'll definitely be picking this up. I'm a big Storm fan. Inglorious X-Force, possibly. I do like Helverine and the lineup, the team, Helverine, Cable, Archangel, Boom Boom, looks pretty cool, so I might pick it up, see how it goes. Rogue miniseries by Erica Schultz, definitely. Deadpool by Benjamin Percy, that's definitely getting picked up. That is a match made in heaven. That's a great fit for Daredevil. Uncanny X-Men, Gail Simone, yes. Wolverine, pass. It's funny right here that this is a Dan Panosian cover, and he says, with respect to Byrne, because these are all Alpha Flight characters right here, but it also has that New Mutants first Cable appearance look. I wonder if Uncle Rob will speak out on not getting any recognition for this style of cover. X-Men, yes, definitely. Doctor Strange, no. Wiccan, no. Sorcerer Supreme, no. The Deadly Hands of Kunlun, ever how that's pronounced, no. Psylocke Ninja, yeah, I'll be picking this one up. I like how it says retro pick right here. That's kind of a cool, I guess that's a new imprint they're going to do, or, a new way to distinguish where these books take place in continuity. Logan, Black, White, and Blood, pass. Null, pass. Dungeons of Doom, absolutely. Psy, I don't even know who that is. Amazing Spider-Man, absolutely. Love this book with Joe Kelly. Spider-Man Noir, yes, I've really enjoyed that tremendously. A lot more than I thought I was. Ghost Spider, maybe. I picked up a first 5 of this run, or I meant the first 4, and it was kind of hit or miss, so we'll see. Venom, pass. I gave up on this book officially last night. Spider-Man and Wolverine, pass. Torn by J. Michael Straczynski, definitely. Black Cat, pass on that. I gave up on it. Fantastic Four, yeah, absolutely. Avengers, absolutely. Hulk, smash everything, 3 of 5. I probably will pick this up. It looks like a very fun, not set in continuity, just big popcorn style book right here, just over the top action. So I'll probably give that a shot. Infernal Hulk, yes, I like this book. Planet She-Hulk, Nova Centurion, Black Panther, and the Galactic, pass on all of those. X-Men of Apocalypse, I read issue number 1, and no, I'm not coming back. So now we've got some facsimiles here. I'll be passing on these. 1776, yes, I'll pick that up. Here's another Daredevil and Punisher book with Palmiotti writing it, so I'll be picking that up. Mortal Thor by Al Ewing, yes, I'll be picking this up. New Avengers, Spirits of Violence, The End, pass on all these. The Fall of Ultraman, no. Predator Bloodshed, no. Alien vs. Captain America, yes, I'm reading this. Planet of the Apes versus Fantastic Four, absolutely, I'm going to pick this up right here. Perfect fit. Star Wars, this is on the chopping block. I think I might be done with it. Jar Jar, no. And then they've got some of the Stormbreakers, some of the breakout artists here. So many of these. I feel like this artist here, whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, I feel like I've seen their work a whole bunch. I know I've seen Alessandro Capuccio's work. This person here does a lot for Jeff, the Land Shark. And then we've got the little Marvel Premier collections here. We'll be passing on these. Grunwald Cap Omnibus. Pass on it. I've got all those issues upstairs. It's a lot easier to buy them out of dollar boxes than spending $125 on an omnibus. X-Men Omnibus, pass. Punisher and Fury Max by Garth Ennis Omnibus. These stories here are really cool if you're a big Garth Ennis fan and you like the Max lineup. It would probably be a really smart move to pick up this trade paperback here, or the small omnibus. Both of these characters, Punisher and Nick Fury, fit real well with Garth Ennis. Star Wars, pass. Another Spider-Man omnibus, pass. So we got some role-playing games, Rivals, and some softcover trades. I'll be passing on all these. Yeah, like I said, this is the Marvel Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. This was 5 issues. Then you had all those one-shots, and then you got that new book that they just teased earlier. I'm good. I'm set on Godzilla. I don't need any more Godzilla in the Marvel Universe. Pass on Eddie Brock Carnage. Pass on Spider-Girl. Vader. Predator. Black, White, and Blood. Moon Knight. Fist of Khonshu. So I guess this book is wrapping up with issue 15. And they are launching the new Mark Spector Moon Knight book. I guess that's the issue that it wraps up with. Punisher, King of Killers. They're basically throwing all this out the fucking window, it seems like. Thunderbolts, pass. These are epic collections. Pass on this Avengers. ROM. Some old school Ultimate Spider-Man stuff. And we got a couple posters on sale for the last few people on this planet who are still buying posters. So that is a look at all of the Marvel titles solicited for the month of February. Quite a bit coming out between what Marvel has and what DC has. DC, honestly, I'm going to call it right down the middle. DC looks to have a lot more Their DC, their KO stuff looks to be the more exciting of the solicitations as opposed to what Marvel has. But that being said, I am reading more Marvel than I am the DC KO stuff or the DC in general. But that's just because KO particularly doesn't really grab me like it does other people. But it does seem to be the more interesting of the two universes. So that's a look at everything coming up. If you see anything in here that you like, let your comic book shop know so they can go ahead and get you an order. They can get one pulled aside for you. That way you're guaranteed to get it. So until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.